Sheldon Primus.
Welcome to the Safety Consultant Show with Sheldon Primus, where we blend safety smarts with business brilliance and a pinch of Sheldon's signature wit. Whether you're a safety pro, a fresh-faced consultant, or just safety curious, get ready for a show that'll educate, entertain, and elevate your safety game. Let's dive into the art of consulting with your safety Sherpa himself, Sheldon Primus.
This episode is powered by Safety FM.
Yes, powered by Safety FM. Thank you, Dr. J. Allen, Safety FM fam. Sam, see you in Phoenix. Yes, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Safety Consultant Show with Sheldon Primus. Guess what? I am your host, and my name just happens to be Sheldon Primus. Yep, nailed it. I am definitely one of those people who loves the fact that I have a podcast. I can't hide it. That's why I've been doing it for so long. And this is the podcast where I teach you guys how to do the business of being a safety consultant, teach you about OSHA compliance, to teach you a little bit about just truly how to think through some environmental health and safety concerns. And then also we have fun. I haven't done like really fun stuff this year like I had in the past. I remember the first couple of years I did an episode where it was a music episode, and some of you did not know, but I actually write a good 90% of the music that you hear on the show is original to me. The commercial is not for the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. So if you did not know about the course, truly just go to safetyconsultantblueprint.com. And what I did with this is actually a little bit of everything. I broke down how I started the business from my experience, and it was step by step by step. And then I took everything in bite-sized pieces, and I start from the beginning as to choosing your own name. I mean, we break it down from there. And after every lesson, you basically have homework, actionable steps, so that you could, I'm walking through it with you. So that's the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. So you just go to safetyconsultantblueprint.com. All right. So in that just description, if you would, one of the things I did mention is OSHA compliance. I help you guys with that. So take a listen, or not even a listen. I guess it's a listen or a podcast, right? You're not looking at me in my robe. The beauty of podcast magic. Here's podcast magic for you guys, right? Ready? You could talk to the world in your robe. I'm actually dressed. I'm just cold. All right, so consider this me actually doing my OSHA update, which I haven't done in quite a while. So I'm going to do my OSHA update, but I am going to do it where I am looking at the OSHA.gov site live at the same time you are listening to me. Figure that one out in your brain. So anyway, what I am doing is, I'm going to be looking through a couple of things, and I'm going to explain to you the OSHA website and updates on the OSHA site, basically. So, as I always say, if you're driving, you're listening to this episode first. You're not waiting to get to a stoplight so you can look stuff up, all right? No can do. We're not doing that. Not today, Satan. What you are going to do, though, is you're going to listen to this episode nice and just listen to it through, right? And then when you get home, you re-listen to this, and then you do all the clicking that the rest of us who are sitting at a computer, we're doing this clicking, right? So first you're going to OSHA.gov. Anywhere in the world, you could do this, OSHA.gov. And then this is to utilize the OSHA website in such a way that you could use it to help you find things quickly. I know a lot of us is going to chat and everything else, which is fine. I'm like a chat addict. But ChatGPT, for those of you who didn't finish that other part, I think you still need to navigate the OSHA website. And I haven't done this in a while, so I'm going to just go ahead and do an OSHA update and a navigation at the same time. So hopefully by now, those of you that are sitting in front of your computer, you're doing this with me. All right. And those of you that are listening to me, then go ahead and keep listening to me. And you're not going to be getting on anything because that's not allowed.
Epic fail.
You are waiting until you get home, and then you're going to re-listen to this. All right, OSHA.gov, you guys are all there. We're going to go down to right now, the color is blue. Blue background, white heading. You'll see the words OSHA, standards, enforcement, topics, help and resources, and news with a little drop-down menu on there. Just to get a little feel for the site, when you do the drop-down menu, basically you're moving your mouse over to the arrow down. Click on that with the left, and then you'll see a new menu just pop up. You're like, dang, there's something in there. And that's what happens, right? So you'll see the About OSHA on the OSHA side, and anything you want to know about the agency, do that. I'm going to go to About page I've been doing this recently, and I'm just going to ask you guys to do the same thing if you're in the OSHA jurisdiction. If not, again, you're just listening. OSHA, from time to time, we do have an acting person in OSHA, and I say we, I've never been in OSHA. I'm just a consultant that actually deals on the opposite side with OSHA, but I am an OSHA authorized instructor. But anyway, so Amanda Wood, Lai-How, I just hopefully pronounce her name right. She is the head of OSHA right now, but acting. In the past, when President Trump was previously in office, there was an acting position because Scott Mugno from FedEx, I think. Scott Mugno just could not get out of the help committee. Just poor guy. I really felt bad for him because literally he was trying to get through. The help committee is with the U.S. Senate. It's the health, education, labor, and pension. So they vote in who becomes the head of OSHA. So they're basically the deputy assistant secretary of labor over OSHA. So anyway, he tried, and oh my goodness, they had 2 hearings that were just brutal, and it's just a waste of time, poor guy. And then he withdrew his name, acting position throughout the whole Trump administration. So what that means basically, and the reason why I'm taking you guys to this, and it's an update for OSHA as well, what that really means is OSHA is really going to just focus in on the agendas that they had already, and they're called the regulatory agendas. So they're just going to do their career stuff day in, day out. They're going to look for local emphasis programs, national emphasis programs, and things like that. So in order for you guys to find out what they're going to be focusing on, I want you to go to the next tab where it says standards. Look for the little drop down that goes down. Hit that, and then you're going to go to regulatory agenda. It's going to give you a little pop-up that says OSHA is telling you you're leaving their site. It's okay. You're leaving OSHA government site to get to the Federal Register, and in the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, you want the regulatory agenda for OSHA. So you'll see DOL, then a slash, and then OSHA. And you'll see it in 3 different stages: pre-rule, proposed rule, and then final rule stages. And basically those rules is what OSHA is going to be focusing on. So there's an acting person in OSHA, but these rules are already in place to become a law. It takes about 8 years or so, but when it starts hitting the regulatory agenda, it's getting close. So what I would do then, if I was the consultant or if I'm focused on anything for any of these hazards listed here, just kind of do 2 things. One, you want to follow over to the far right, you'll see a number. Right now it starts with like a 1218. I'm not sure what that is, but start with a number, but there's a hyperlink. So you click on the hyperlink, and when you click on the hyperlink, it's going to take you places, right? And if you're driving, don't do that. Don't do that. You're listening now. When you get home, then you're going to get on your computer. All right, so click on the hyperlink, you're going to read what OSHA is going to do with this new law. You're going to use that for your budgeting. You're going to use that to, sound the alarm that OSHA is coming up with changes. These things are probably still going to happen, with some exceptions. So heat stress standard, originally I thought it wouldn't go through, but career OSHA is just taking over at this point. So they're just doing the things that were in the regulatory agenda. So again, that's one of the things that you're going to use. If you're going to be a consultant, you could provide services that is going to prep people for the regulatory side, right? Welding and construction, and you're a welding agent, welding consultant. All right, and at that point, the standard is coming up. It says, for those of you that are not on the page, OSHA has a standard that is welding and construction for confined spaces. It's coming up. So if that's your specialty and you're ready to start your business, there's your driver. All right, use the back button. You're going back. It takes you to the About page for OSHA with just one click of the back button. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is enforcement. And the enforcement, I'm going to take you guys to the page that says OSHA enforcement. So just click on enforcement, and then over there, underneath that, you'll see the enforcement tab. There's a bunch on this page, right? So the two things I really want you guys to focus on is going to be the emphasis programs. There will be one that says a national emphasis program, and one will be local emphasis program. And again, this is where OSHA's career people are going to start taking over. So they're just going to start doing the emphasis program stuff. That was the last directive. If we don't have a head or not, your area director, they're going to take over for their area. And they're going to make sure that the initiatives of OSHA still goes through. So you should know the national emphasis programs and the local emphasis programs to help you out. And then look for just pretty much any kind of enforcement memo. And what's an enforcement memo, you ask yourself? Well, the enforcement memo is basically how OSHA does their job. So with all the different compliance officers in the world, or I should say in OSHA, not in the world, hyperbolic. Whoa! But basically, if you have a compliance officer visit, and this compliance, the area is in Georgia, and you have another compliance visit, and the area is in Minnesota, though it's a state plan versus a federal plan, you still need some guidance for the compliance officers to know what's baseline. All right, baseline expectations, baseline to do an actual inspection, and then when they get there, they'll use their expertise and everything else, and they'll stay within the lines of what's called the field operation manual. So at that point, those are the two things I want you guys to focus on this page for enforcement. You want to look for national emphasis program, local emphasis program, and then compliance directives. Enforcement memos. Compliance directives are good too. Actually, the compliance directives first before the enforcement memos. Those directives, CPLs, are the ones that tells all the compliance officers how to follow the rules. So the CPL. Okay. Moving on. Let's go ahead, and if you are a trainer or you're responsible for training, then click over to the topics page. You can see a whole bunch of things related to high hazard topics. You glean the information from there. This is where OSHA has the compliance assistance tools. Also know that there are free publications for you. So if you're in the U.S., you can actually get them sent to you for free. You could get up to 5 things, and you could get 5 copies of each. So let's say you have multiple languages in your workplace, and there are all the languages represented in the OSHA poster. It just so happens you could get the OSHA posters sent to you, and you could get them each in that language, 5 copies each if you wanted to. So that's under publication. You'll see that under help and resources. You'll also see safety and health topic page, so you can pick a specific topic, and then you could truly get a good understanding of that topic. In the middle, is compliance assistance. So what I use here usually is going to be the small business resources under that tab that says compliance assistance. So again, you guys are just following along with me. If you're driving, listening. Small business resources is everything, including sample programs. So if you need to write a HASCOM program or revise one for a client and you don't have a template, just go right there. Small business resources, get yourself a template. Then training and resources has just a bounty of PowerPoints and everything else. So Susan Harwood grants, I'm just going to point you guys to that one and just go nuts. Go through the topics there. It is just ridiculous amount of things OSHA has for you, especially if you're going to be a trainer. All right, one last thing. I don't want this, to go too nuts with just going through the OSHA stuff, because I know, some of you without OSHA jurisdiction. Come on, wake up. That's not cool, dude. That is not cool.
Fight!
All right, so just make sure that with your whole going over the OSHA website, you also want to do one more thing. You want to sign up for their Quick Takes newsletter. So when you get to Quick Takes, you're going to find that under News. You hit the little drop-down menu. You go down to News. You look for Quick Takes. They have over 370,000 subscribers. So basically every other week, OSHA will send you information that is some partnership they've made, some sort of enforcement they like to do. If there's something compliance assistance coming up, you'll see a schedule on there. Lawn care is the big thing right now. They're about to do a lawn care standard, so you're starting to see the prep with that. So truly sign up for Quick Takes. Every other week you're going to get an email from OSHA. You go through this stuff, you see what's on their mind, but it's also information in there that you could use for your safety program throughout the world. So it's good information to have. So sign up for Quick Takes there. Again, I'm not from OSHA, never have been, and in some cases as a consultant, I'm on the other side of the aisle, or wherever you talk, the other side of the table as we negotiate. But in my role as a trainer, I'm authorized instructor, so I represent them when I'm doing the 10 and 30-hour classes for general industry and construction. So I'm kind of like I play both roles. How's that? Secret agent. Spy. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to tell you guys, you could do this because I want you to just, when you get home, especially if you're driving, go through the OSHA website, look at some things that are important to you. If you can't figure out where to start, then you got to do one thing. Find your company's NAICS code if you're in North America. That's your North American Industry Classification System Code, NAICS. You'll go to census.gov/NAICS. So just put in a keyword search for the type of service or business you guys provide, and then look for that NAICS code. Or if you want a shortcut, go to your last year's 300A log, and then you'll see it there. Okay, shortcut. Now, after you get that code, you're going to go over to Data and Statistics. And then what you want to do is you want to go to that page, and you're going to go to Inspection Data. It's the second thing to click on that page. And then you're going to do a most frequently cited OSHA inspection search with your NAICS code. So what will come back from that search is that you're going to get a list in a 1-year period. If OSHA did any kind of investigation in your NAICS code, it'll list out the top things that OSHA cited for that year. Now you use that, and those are the services you could provide. That's the training you need to do. That's the programs you need to overlook just to fortify and make sure that you're at least OSHA compliant. That's what you're going to do with that information. All right. So gave you guys a bunch to think about. I know you're going to have to re-listen to this and kind of click through it as you're going on the OSHA website. So please just pause, make sure you get the site where you need to, and then listen to me again. Talk you through the rest. and then pause and, learn how to navigate that website. It'll be good for you. And for those of you outside of the U.S., definitely use the data and statistics page to help you. And then also use the training pages. It's free, especially the Susan Harwood grant material. That's the key right there for you guys out of country, excuse me. All right. Now I digress. No, I don't digress. I tell you guys to go out there. Take what you learn. Go get them.
That's a wrap for today's safety show. Remember, safety isn't just about hard hats and caution signs. It's about business smarts too. Thanks for joining us on the Safety Consultant Show with Sheldon Primus. Until next time, stay safe, stay savvy, and keep consulting like a boss. Go get 'em. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast or broadcast are those of the host and its guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within the past hour, only examples. It should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the positions of the company. No part of this podcast or broadcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic recording, or otherwise without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast or broadcast, Sheldon Primus.
This episode has been powered by Safety FM.
Are you ready to make a difference? Introducing the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. Unlock your potential as a safety consultant. Learn the skills, strategies, and ethics to create safer workplaces for your very own client. From risk assessment to client acquisition, we've got you covered. Become a safety consultant and open doors to being your own boss. Join us and be the hero of workplace safety. Enroll today. Safety starts with you. Take the first step now. Visit our website and enroll in the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. Empower businesses. Protect lives. SafetyConsultantBlueprint.com.